So when we hear that the glory has this, right? The glory's got this. The intelligence knows how. And the intelligence is not outside of us. It's the intelligence that we are. We're made of this intelligence. This is the field of our consciousness, and it's accessing the full capacity of what we are and the intelligence that we are. And again, this shifting of the operating system from the operating system of limitation, identified with mind, body, to the operating system of the divine, which is the technology of love, the technology of light. And the technology of love is that which includes, it's an all-encompassing love. It sees only itself. Love knows only love. So its natural innate technology is to include everything. It's not working at it. It's not doing any kind of magic on it. It's just seeing itself. That's the true technology of love. And the light is a brilliance. The divine light is a brilliance, a brightness, a luminosity, and a radiance, right? And light just shines by its nature. And the light that shines illuminates everything that it shines upon. Whatever it looks upon, it illuminates. And what it illuminates is the reality. So the intelligence of the light illuminates the reality. It illuminates what is real. Asatoma satgamaya, right? It's illuminating the reality, revealing that the darkness is not what the darkness thinks it is. So the darkness, the fear identified with itself, believes itself to be a reality. Fear believes that fear exists. Darkness believes that darkness exists. But love knows something different. Love knows the reality. And so the technology of love, the technology of light, which is one divine power, one divine force, the true power. It illuminates, it includes, it welcomes everything. So when we in our direct experience are connected to that, which that source, which has that power, we're connected to the true power of what we are. And the illumination is the illumination that which thinks it is darkness is just this, is the light that's taken a shape, that's taken form, is in some kind of pattern, and it's believing its own story, the story of its patterning. The pattern has a like a code to it, let's say, and the code we understand through our human mind and experience as a story. And we identify with that story, and we think that this light is not here. And when that identification is happening, fear believes fear, darkness believes darkness, depression believes depression, right? All of it, it believes, the discordance believes in its discordant. It believes it's a reality, but it's a belief. And in the presence of light, in the presence of the technology of light, the illumination doesn't say, oh, no, you've got it wrong. It just says, I love you. I see you. I see you as you are. And when that light is shining, when that love is present, this, for all of its willfulness and in wanting to believe its own story, the true power welcomes, includes, blesses, and reveals that the true nature of any kind of contortion of consciousness in essence is the same. Right? This is so powerful to just let the intelligence of this come alive in your system and to feel where you feel the truth and recognition. Feel the aliveness, because that's the intelligence that knows. You're not learning something here. You're not learning something that you have to remember. In real time, in the here now, this intelligence is coming online where that which knows recognizes, the consciousness itself is cognizing and accessing a fuller capacity of its own knowing that's already present of truth. So that's why the feeling sense that we have is like, oh, I already know this. Oh, yes. Yeah. Right? It's accessing something that's already here in the ethers, in our nervous system, in our consciousness. We're accessing a wisdom light. And that wisdom light just keeps shining. So the truth is that this hand here is the wisdom light. This is the great glory. This is the all-encompassing love. With the presence of this love, this light, anything in the presence of this will be revealed in right timing, in perfect timing. Even if the presence feels like it's not here, it still is, right? It's off screen. It might be off screen to the sense of our lived experience. It might feel like, oh, I've forgotten. You haven't, it's here. Oh, I've forgotten. Oh, says this, right? I've forgotten. In perfect timing, the revelation of this reveals that it's always here, right? So this is the technology and how it's unfolding. And as our dear Graham brought forward earlier in his inquiry, and what was feeling alive for him, is that this kind of looking upon, the light shining upon the seeming darkness, the seeming burden of humanity, the seeming heaviness, which we could say the burden of the belief in separation, division, limitation, the belief in lack, that as we shine the light in our lived experience, this is where the micro affects the macro, just as the macro affects the micro. So as we shine the light in our lived experience, which is the micro experience, but the consciousness is one. So in the micro experience, this evolution, this transmutation, transformation, upgrading, recalibration of consciousness is happening. But as one field, the reverberations of those recalibrations in your consciousness, my consciousness, our field of consciousness, and truly in each of us and in the joining of us, the reverberant field holds more alive capacity of reverberance that touches. It's always, every single fiber of recognition in us is happening in consciousness and is touching and affecting the whole field. So as our consciousness shifts, the whole consciousness is shifting. This is the superpower that we have that is beyond any kind of power of any kind of world leader, country leader, whatever, whoever thinks that they're the leader of the world, the king of the world, that they're holding the power. The only power is love. The only power is love. And, you know, maybe such a world leader might be like, what a cheesy load of nonsense, right? Because the power of love is not known in that heart. The power of love is not cheesy nonsense. Anything but cheesy nonsense. We could say that the belief that someone can yield power and hold power and have power over is nonsense, right? because the only power is love. And it's not a battle to be won. It's a victory that is already present, right? It's the Jema, it's the victory of the divine light. It's already present. The celebration is already here. It's already so, because everything that's appearing on the screen is the TV of the human plane. It's not a reality. And yet we can't come to that revelation through denial. We can only come to that revelation through the intelligence that we're made of and recognizing the power of the technology that we are, that sees through. Just as when you go to the cinema, if there's a crazy fire happening and everything is burnt to dust, that when you come out of the cinema and the movie ends, like the screen is still intact. Your life is still intact. Nothing has really burned, right? Whatever happens on the screen is never touched. And you, in your true nature, are never touched, right? But we're being invited to come to these ideas that we've heard these ideas, right? They get shared through the wisdom lineages and teachings as examples, and it's profound. And we touch into the aliveness of recognition. But when we touch into the aliveness of recognizing what we are being invited to recognize, that there's an empowerment happening, a true empowerment, which is that we're cognizing with the intelligence that we're made of, that we're not getting something from outside of us, that actually the intelligence that we're made of is creating a reflected possibility for us to enliven, right? Just as we get reflections of the challenging stuff and the fear and the doubt and the lack, we're also getting reflections of grace. We're being showered with blessings. This is where we would say that there is only one love, only one grace, one guru, the Satguru, one teacher, and that is the wisdom itself, right? No one can take ownership of it. Many have tried, many have fallen, right? There's no one that can take ownership of the wisdom. We try to put it into a container of me, it will trip, it will fall, without question, right? That's the great humbling of life, is that no one can take ownership of the wisdom. There's only one wisdom, one light, one truth, one love. And the way that we come into the wisdom of that light is to reconnect to the source and be nourished and resourced from that source. We don't need to take ownership. We don't need to take ownership because it's not a resource that's in scarcity or lack, right? We don't have to try to harness it all for ourselves. We're not harnessing it. We can't make money out of it. We can't do the things that the imbalances of power of the world that believes in lack, how that power imbalance plays, that believes that there's a lack of resources. So I want all of the whatever, the money, the oil, whatever it is. I want all of it. I want the biggest piece of the pie. And I might, distribute a little bit here and there according to my will. But without thy will in place, there will always be a misery and imbalance. And that's the play of the world. That's the play of consciousness. The more that we are living this truth and we're letting, in a way, the micro be refined and recalibrated, and let's at this moment bring in the macro. So then we let the play of the world and what's on the screen and the things that seem like chaotic, turbulent, war, conflict, craziness, massive power imbalance, destruction of the incredible beauty of nature, all of that stuff that's playing on the screen, we let that macro affect our micro, because it's a way that the intelligence is stirring us to find out what's inside here. What's in the unconscious realms? And what have I been given in this lifetime to bring out of the unconscious on behalf of the whole? What am I here to surface, transmute, and transform? So that's the level. We would never say that it's mine or it's yours or it's that's not mine, or whatever's alive in your system is yours to transmute, right? And if it's there in your system to transmute, then you have the capacity in your consciousness for that to happen. Absolutely. But you're not doing it. Grace is doing it. And again, here we reference that if we put the mud into the ocean, it doesn't seem like mud anymore, right? It just has a way of working itself out. It settles. It doesn't notice. It doesn't seem as thick and dark and muddy, right? So we let the macro affect the micro. We let it crack our hearts open. We let it humble us. We let it tenderize us. And the invitation is to not identify and take sides, not identify with fear, not identify with a sense like I have to do something about the screen. It's like being in the cinema and something goes on fire and you're like, oh my God, get the water, right? Put the fire out, right? Everyone's like, whoa, what's going on? Put the fire out, like, wow, what's gonna, like wildfire, thinking that what's on the screen can like take over. It's like, no, no, no. No, feel your fear. Feel your fear. Don't run. Don't run for the, don't get your Coca-Cola and like throw it at the screen and think that's going to help, right? No. Feel your fear. You're not on fire. The screen's not on fire. It's absolutely intact. And when the images disappear, oh, everyone okay? Everyone's okay, right? Because that's your true nature, is not touched, right? The craziness of any kind of movie that you've ever seen, whether it's a horror movie or one of those kind of futuristic kind of Armageddon, everyone gets annihilated and, nuclear, blah, 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 no food, nothing. Everyone's trying to find the last pot of honey because that's the only thing that survives. All of those stuff. It's like, the movie ends. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm going out for dinner, actually, right? Yeah, everything's okay. Everything's okay. So we let the macro affect the micro. And instead of feeling like we need to fix and change and moving to those reactive ways of gotta change it, it's like let our heart like burn in the fire of the unconscious coming to the surface. Let the unconscious come to the surface through the consciousness, through the nervous system, and the intelligence that has the capacity, the wide open heart that knows how, that can bear it all. What is important here is that having the connection to source, knowing the field of presence, the stillness, the silence, the refuge, the sanctuary of true nature is most definitely the most incredible boon, right? And yet there's a dance. Like we would say that the collective consciousness is in a kind of, it's in the process of awakening. It's in a process of evolution where the, the, the vertical axis of opening to be the pure awareness, opening to know yourself in true nature, and the opening of the horizontal axis, like the Shiva and the Shakti, are happening simultaneously. So we could say that maybe like Ramana Maharshi kind of just blew open in a Shiva awakening, right? Of course. What a dramatic thing to happen at the feet of Arunachala, the embodiment of Shiva, right? Of course, that's what that being, that soul, that's the experience that one is going to have. Many beings, but it's more rare, have this kind of opening, this kind of Shiva opening of just opening to know that true nature unquestionably. Sometimes that really opens, sometimes it opens, feels like it closes just because this the horizontal axis, activity just comes back in. But there's a dance of intelligence that's where the consciousness, the intelligence of the consciousness is moving. At this time, where the consciousness is, because so many kind of pioneering souls have awakened in this aspect, and the collective consciousness has shifted, and the message has been spread through all of the different profound and beautiful means of the wisdom teachings. The consciousness of humanity at this time, the collective consciousness, is at a point where the greater part of the awakening is happening through the lived experience. So it's happening through the Shakti field, through the field of intelligence. Actually, instead of sitting around waiting for the lightning bolt of Shiva to just blow everything open, blow the doors off, what is happening more in the collective consciousness is that it's almost like a preparation where insight and openings are coming in this vertical axis, because the consciousness is rarefied enough. It is and has been evolving. So it has the capacity to open in a very natural way of like, oh yeah, like presence, the field, just being, the silence. Like there is that we can access a recognition. It might feel like it's not fully abiding, like it might feel like it comes and goes. It doesn't come and go, it's always here. But the field of life is sometimes more dominant and is calling our attention. So the way that this is flowing is that through the play of life, we're being humbled, we're being honed, the consciousness is being refined, and we're actually opening to the metaphysics of really recognizing what this is, what is happening. And we could say that even if things open in this vertical direction in a big way, there still has to be this humbling in the play of life, because an awakening in the absolute is not the full freedom, let's say. The wholeness has to be a complete freedom in the play of the world, in every dimension and aspect of the lived experience. And we're not here with a goal of achievement. We're here for the adventure, right? We're here to be the human being that is absolutely resourced from the divine, that's in the process of remembering what I belong to, what I am. But we're here at this evolutionary time, this evolutionary edge, to realize this, recognize this, and to be the living expression of this, in order to be the reverberant field for the collective consciousness at this evolutionary edge. The whole consciousness is at this evolutionary edge. And yet we, in the work that is happening here, is still massively pioneering within the collective consciousness, right? And that's why it's such incredible grace and glory to be able to gather like this, where it's just normal to us to talk about these things, right? It's just like, oh yeah, just another Sunday chatting about the evolution of consciousness and resting in the being and being the technology of love, just including everything. It's like, yeah, it's just how we roll, right? But it's not how everyone rolls, right? Not at all. So as we roll here together, we're opening, and we're opening to be this one field, this glory together as one unified field. But we're also recognizing the unique flowering that's happening of each of us, because each of us has a unique divine purpose, right? We're uniquely wired to be a vehicle of this shifting consciousness. And the deeper that we are in the knowing of this, it doesn't mean that we have to become like a leader in this way, or a voice piece in this way, or whatever. Like, we don't have to create an identity out of it. In fact, we absolutely are not being invited to create any identity, but to just be yourself, to just move in the way that feels incredibly real. And you will find that you're living this more deeply, and you'll start to share it just by being yourself, just by your frequency, right? So this is what we're up to here. This is what we're up to.